Boom! How's it going? How's it going? Yeah, good morning, good morning. It is I, your boy TJ, and we're here talking about real estate. And this is what we do Monday to Friday, talking about property. And property is something that we enjoy talking about, and we do this for passive income right around here in South Africa. And we come out to you every day, Monday to Friday. We are here talking about this, and we're wanting to talk about what happens actually in the property space. So there's multiple things that you can do in the property space. You can buy property for rental, which is what I love doing together with my partners at M5 Property Addicts. Yeah. And over and above that, we teach other people on how to do this. And yeah, my name is TJ, Taurai Jack, and I do all my property business in the company M5 Property Addicts. And if I'm not doing that, also I write books. And this is one of my books that I've written, which is called From Bed Debt to Property Mogul. And you want to get that book so that you can get a little bit more educated on how or what you can do in the property space. I specialize particularly in the property space. We buy blocks, small blocks of flats, and we're slowly crawling into the big ones. We've been at it now for the last 5 years. And over and above that, we are in 4 cities, slowly crawling into the 5th city. We just need to close a deal there. And what are those 4 cities? Johannesburg, Durban, Cape Town, Pretoria, and Kapstad, Cape Town. Yeah, and that's where we are. And we don't do this alone. We do it with some of our partners. And for a lot of people, they've been earning a return actually of nothing less of 15% from the start that we started off. So if you're one of those people who are wanting to invest, then somewhere in the link below, you can get through to invest with us and earn what is called a high return on your interest. And that's what's something that we can talk about if you're interested. However, we're not only about high interest, we are also about partnerships, and we do this with the different partners. And today being a Monday, we want to talk about something that is dear to my heart, and this is something that I started off actually not knowing, but now I do, and I'm continuously pressing on how to do it. So within the next 15 to 16 minutes, we're going to jump into it. But particularly, I'd like to share with you guys that tomorrow evening, we're going to run an info session for our investor partners, and this is predominantly for people who are wanting to invest alongside us. This is a partnership. So you're coming in with your money, a minimum of 100,000, and my team and I, we go to work, and you own that asset together with us. And that's really chasing up any what is called infinity returns. And if you don't know what infinity returns, it's more than any higher return that you can ever think about. Infinity returns is the holy grail, actually, of all in returns. And that is, if there's something that excites you and you want to jump into, then I urge you that tomorrow you want to attend our investor session. It is happening at 7 p.m. in the evening. And how do you attend? You need to register. So there is a link in below, and that's when you can register. But we're looking for serious people. I have declined for some people already, even though they said that they've got money. I've declined some people to say, no, we cannot work with you. So this is not for everyone. There's a criteria in which you can come in. So you're joining in, you're jumping on the waiting list, and you attend the session, and then we assess whether we gel together. Can we work together? That's the thing here. But before I go any further, I want to jump in and talk about a question that I asked myself a couple of years ago, and I keep on asking that question to myself. And of late, I've been asking myself this question more often than not. And this question is actually the question here that I'm wanting to share with you, which is kind of like help me in terms of moving forward every day, because I am, running the business that I run. It's got so many issues that come by. So I've started labeling myself that I'm a firefighter, because there's so many issues that are coming in every day. But over and above that, there's also the leading of the team. What happens when you're leading the team? What happens when you're leading a family? What happens when you're leading yourself? Because you still need to be led as well as yourself. And the question here that I keep on asking myself, and this question I ask myself so that I can get answers. And the question is, I'm hoping to share with you this question so that you yourself can also starting to ask yourself the same question, and hopefully you can start proving and winning in your own space. It's not about investing with me. No, it is about you making sure that you can improve yourself. So that question is, what happens if we start thinking differently? What happens if we start thinking differently? So my question here is, what happens, Tara, if you start thinking differently? That's the question. I am who I am because I have been thinking the way I've been thinking, and that thinking have led me to where I am today. Right? Okay. So same applies with you. You can take that statement as well. You can say, you are where you are right now, and that's okay where you are, whether you are in millions, whether you are in debt. You are where you are right now because of the thinking that you've been thinking. So the question that I want to ask you is, what if we change that thinking? What if we change that thinking? So a lot of us, we change underwears every day, maybe a little bit more than once. We change clothes every day. We change hairstyles almost maybe on a weekly basis. We change the food that we eat regularly. We change partners, some more often than others. We change scenery of where we want to be. We change what we want to watch on TV. We change a lot of things around us. But the most important thing that we never do, and this is by no means segregating myself out of it, I find myself now asking myself that question more and more often than not. So I find myself asking myself more often now. And I ask myself, what if I change the way I think today? What will be the result tomorrow? Okay, I want to give you guys an example. Back in the days, I was employed, and out of that employment, I used to work in the bank. I'm always talking about this. And I used to love my job, by no doubt. I used to love it. I worked with some of the most amazing people that you can come to be. At a point, I was the only person with no doctorate in my team, no doctorate. So all of the people that I was working around were doctors in what, doctors in what. And I enjoyed that. Why? Because I was the only person who was of a sharper mind, and I was pushing myself. I'm like, these guys, they've got doctrines, but I need to prove myself that I can do better, even though they've got their doctorates. And I did that, right? And I led that team. Non-doctor guy who led a team of doctors. I did that. Why? Because I changed my mind. I changed the way I was thinking. Okay? Nonetheless, I decided, okay, fine, I'm earning so much money, and it was good money, right? I'm earning so much money, but how best can I earn more? I told a story of one point that I met this other guy at some point. Actually, I didn't meet anyone, but let me rephrase that statement. I was telling the story of this other to this other guy, and I was telling him of how my supervisor was earning double than what I was earning. I got to find out because both our invoices were sent to me for approval, where it was supposed to send to her. And I realized that I was the guy who was doing more of the work here. I was the working horse, but how come they were earning more, double than me? And I realized that it's about the way I think. And when I started realizing that, I said to myself, okay, how best can I change? So I didn't go into negativity of around, hey, this guy here is earning more. I didn't go into a race component around it. I didn't go into a blame around it. I didn't blame the system. I asked myself, what if I think differently? And I started thinking differently, and I decided, no, I don't want to work for the rest of my life. I want to own assets. And I realized that, okay, fine, maybe I can own assets by doing a business. I did a business. I started a car rental company. You all know that. I made good money into it. I had diapers. I was selling diapers. I made good money into it. There is good money in diapers, by the way, because your customers, you're always having customers. Babies are always pooing every day. Some babies poo like 4 or 5 times in a day. That's money for you. But if I'd stopped working, both of these business would have stopped making money, and I didn't want that. I wanted something where if I continue work, if I stop working, I will continue earning money. So that was my biggest problem. And I write about all of that in my book. So you can jump on my website and you can get my book. On our Facebook page, you can get that book. But I changed my mind. I didn't leave my employer at the time. I was still an employee and I started doing all of these things. I'm making good money. And at some point, I was making double, triple than what I was earning with my employer. But then I realized that this was working also as much as working where I was working at the bank. And then eventually I decided, nah, I need to leave my employer because my employer, I think, is giving me this cushion. I changed my mind. I changed the way I was thinking. And all of a sudden, the employee mentality, there is a way that an employee thinks the salary is going to come. So it is going to come. What not may, it's going to come. That was taken away when I changed the way I was thinking. I fast forwarded to now, I've got a business, and within this business now, it didn't just come from nowhere. I changed the way I was thinking, and I started working in the space of, from my head, how best can I learn real estate? So I started learning. I started listening to guys from the States. I started listening to guys from Europe. I started attending classes. I started listening to podcasts. I started listening to webinars. I started listening to YouTube. It changed the way I think. It changed the way I think. Where I was thinking that, hey, I've got very little opportunities. I started seeing an abundance of opportunities coming up. Where I was seeing limitations, I cannot do this because I don't have money. I cannot do this because I am black. I cannot do this because of that. I cannot do all of those things that I was thinking were limitations. When I changed the way I think, they went away because I changed the way I think. It was intentional for me to change the way I think. It was me who needed to change that. It wasn't about the next person coming through and say, hey, TJ, this is what you need to do. It wasn't about the next person or the next motivational course that I went to attend. No, it wasn't any of those. It wasn't about God who came through and then he did a miracle. Boom. No, it wasn't all of that. It was me looking at my circumstance of where I was at that time. And again, I'm still looking at it now. Actually, today I was taking a jog, like maybe about an hour ago, I was taking a jog, and I was thinking the same thinking. And I was asking myself the same question. What if I change my thinking? So I changed my thinking about 4 or 5 years ago. The result has been, I've got a business. I've got a business where you can invest. Hope, yes. And out of it, I am now able to save other people to earn passive income. It doesn't stop there. I also now have a business where I teach other people to do what I'm doing. If I was employed, I would have not been here talking to you because I would have been at my employer doing what I'm supposed to be doing there. But I changed my way of thinking, and this is what has given birth to what we are doing right now. You're able to watch this video right now, wherever you are watching it. By the way, I'd like to know where you're watching me from. In the comments, just let me know, hey, TJ, I'm watching you from X. And if this information is important, send me some cool love, right? So I want to go back to the point of I've now changed the way I think, and a couple of years later, it has given me the results that it has given me now. But however, am I not leaving other opportunities? Because had I changed the way I think, maybe about 10 years ago, would I be where I am now, or would I be a little bit further? I think I would have been a little bit further. So if I continue changing the way I think right now, can I make a difference next year in my bank balance? Can I make a difference with my kids? Can I make a bigger difference in my community? Can I make a bigger difference in the people that I save? It's about changing the way we think. It's extremely difficult, though. It is not easy. So how do you do it? What is the practical ways that you can do it? Because I don't want to leave you hanging and say, hey, go and change the way you think. And like, okay, yeah, so how, TJ? So I want to bring it home a little bit on how do you do it. You can't be in the same circle of people that you used to hang out with or that you hang out with right now for you to change. You need to change your circles. You need to be in an area where others are playing big. So right now, some of the commercial banks, if not all, one of my commercial banks that I bank with right now, they are not giving funding because of COVID. They are not. So I changed my way, the way I think. And I went to my team and I said, guys, this is the problem that we've got. We've got so many opportunities on the table, but our partner bank is not funding. So what are we going to do? And this was exactly about 3-4 weeks ago. And we all came together. At least she came with a solution. She says, this is how we can do it. And Rita came with a solution and says, this is how we can figure it out. And out of this solution, you investing with us and partnering up with us. Whereas before, our thinking was more around, hey, people can invest with us, we give them a return. And we changed the way we think and we said, let's partner up with those that are willing and that are wanting to get infinity returns because they can own the properties as well. They are not just going to have money there, they get a return. They are going to own the properties as well. And ever since we've been fundraising, and ever since the community of those people are growing. But again, learning what I know from partnering up with people, we had to set a criteria. And what was that criteria? The criteria was that we don't want just to have money coming in. We want to work with people that understand what property is all about. So let's have a criteria. Let's have a session. And within that session, people can come in. They can make an application, whether they want to be with us or not. They make an application, we decide, and from there, we go to work. Very simple. But I had to change the way I think. My team had to change the way they think. And that has now given a result to some people who are going to be earning infinity returns. They're going to own buildings alongside me. And these buildings, they are going to own for the rest of their lives, together with their family, together with me, whilst they're only contributing once. And for the rest of their lives, they will own buildings with me. It is all about changing the way we see things. It is all about changing the way we think. Other people have come through to me and said, nah, TJ, this is not for me. Yes, it's not for you. And I don't want to hang out with anyone anyways. So that's the same thing with you. Whether it's going to be for property, whether it's going to be for other things that you're going to do, losing weight, learning a little bit harder at school, whatever the circumstances where you're in, changing your job, banking more money right now in COVID. It's all about you. You have the power to change it. So you can change it if you want. So if you want, you can change the way you think. How best can you do it? I'm going to give you 3 tips. The first one is that you need to change the people that you hang out with. The people that you are hanging out with needs to be of bigger minds. They need to be doing bigger things. Number 2, you need to be hanging out with people that are already doing what you're wanting to do. So the reason why I hang out with Robert Kiyosaki is that he is the pinnacle of what I want to do. I want to be able to teach other people. I want to, and by the way, not I want to, I've started doing that, but I'm doing it only in South Africa. Can we do it globally? Globally, what stops us? I just need to change the way we think. I want to be able to have passive properties that will give us passive income. We're doing that, we're doing it, but we're doing it at a small scale. Yes, you can say TJ's 200 tenants. Yeah, but that's small. We can do more. If we change the way we think, we can own complexes. There's nothing that stops us. We can own towns. There's nothing that stops us. Only if we change the way we think. I stretched my mind the other day and I went into this other estate, and within that estate, they actually have a helicopter pad. And I was thinking of buying this other car, but I realized, nah, car, not really. Because I changed the way I think, given my exposure, which gives me to point number 3. You need to expose yourself. You need to expose yourself. So how do you expose yourself? See things differently. Watch programs on TV that are not just about killing people and falling in love. Watch programs that take you to a different country where they're doing programs, where they're doing building projects different, grand design and exotic houses and all of those other programs, flipping houses of what, all of those programs, they are going to just expose your thinking like, oh, it can be done like that. So what stops us? You are the one that stops you. So you're stumbling yourself from growing. You're limiting yourself. We are leaving more money on the table. So I don't want to leave more money on the table. I want to go further. And for those that are wanting to go further with me, I will see you tonight. Well, tomorrow evening, where you can literally invest with us and we can go further. The limits, endless. For as long as you got money on the table, strong people working with alongside of you, that's it. I'll check you out tomorrow. But for now, it is over and out. And God bless. Goodbye. Have a lekker Monday. All right. Cheers. Bye.